The roar of 40,000 devoted fans echoing through the colossal Kyocera Dome in Osaka, hearts pounding like thunder as the lights flicker to life. But wait, what if the real magic, the unfiltered spark that ignites the entire night, happens hours before the spotlight even warms up? What secrets unfold in those electric moments of preparation, where a global icon steps onto the stage not as a distant star, but as a living, breathing force of pure inspiration? Could a single sound check be the hidden heartbeat of a world tour that's already rewriting K-pop history? In the heart of Osaka, a city pulsing with neon dreams and endless energy, GDragon's Übermensch World Tour descended like a supernova on October 20, 2025, turning the Kyocera Dome into a temple of sound, light, and unbreakable spirit. But long before the official gates swung open at 3:30 p.m., a privileged wave of VIP fans, those golden ticket holders who'd waited months, years even, for this chance, gathered in hushed anticipation for the sound check. It wasn't just a technical rehearsal. It was a whisper of what's to come, a tantalizing preview that left everyone breathless, wondering, how does one man command such raw power in the quiet hours? The air hummed with possibility as crew members darted like shadows, adjusting massive LED screens that promised to bloom with butterfly lasers and AI-driven visuals. Each element a testament to GDragon's unyielding vision of rebirth and triumph. Fans clutched their light sticks, those glowing symbols of loyalty shaped like delicate daisies, exchanging wide-eyed glances and half-whispered stories of past tours that had changed their lives forever. The dome, still half in shadow, felt alive, as if the very walls were holding their breath, eager for the moment when the stage would awaken. As the clock ticked closer to the soundcheck start, a ripple of excitement spread through the VIP section, where seats blurred into a sea of waving banners and tear-streaked faces. These weren't ordinary concert-goers. They were the vanguard, the ones who'd sacrificed sleep, savings, and sanity to be here first. Their devotion, a quiet fire that burned brighter with every passing second. Suddenly, the house lights dimmed further, and a low bass thrummed from hidden speakers, sending vibrations through the floor that made spines tingle. Whispers turned to gasps. Was that him? Emerging from the wings like a phoenix testing its wings, GDragon appeared in a casual ensemble that screamed effortless cool. A loose yellow shirt tucked into high-waisted pants, sneakers scuffed just enough to hint at the miles he'd already traveled on this tour, and that signature tousled hair catching the faint glow of stage lights. But it was his smile, oh, that radiant, boyish grin that could melt steel, that hit like a wave, drawing cheers that built like a crescendo. He wasn't in full performance mode yet. This was Kwon Ji-young, the artist behind the icon, waving shyly as if they were old friends reuniting after too long apart. How does he do it, you might ask? How does he make a stadium of strangers feel like family in an instant? The answer lay in his eyes, sparkling with genuine delight as he hopped onto a sleek electric scooter, yes, a scooter, and zipped across the stage like a kid on a joyride, circling the VIP pit with playful loops that had everyone laughing and clapping in unison. What followed was pure alchemy, a blend of music and mischief that turned the soundcheck into something unforgettable, a secret shared among the faithful that would fuel endless replays and retellings for years to come. GDragon killed the engine of his scooter with a flourish, microphone in hand, and launched into Bona Mana, that infectious Super Junior cover from his early days of fearless experimentation. His voice, smooth as silk yet edged with gravel from tour-worn passion, filled the dome without the full production's roar, allowing every nuance to shine. The way he lingered on the chorus, drawing out the vowels like a lover's promise, or how he ad-libbed a playful falsetto that sent shivers down spines. Fans, caught off guard by the intimacy, sang along tentatively at first, then with full-throated abandon, their voices weaving into his like threads in a tapestry. But GDragon, ever the showman with a heart of gold, didn't stop there. He paused mid-verse, tilting his head with mock innocence, and called out, "You know this one. Let's hear it. Louder." The response was deafening, a wall of sound that bounced off the dome's curved roof, proving once again why his fans are legendary. They're not just spectators, they're co-creators in this symphony of joy. As the last notes faded, he leaned into the mic, breath still coming in excited puffs, and shared a quiet laugh with the front row. His words lost to the cheers, but his warmth palpable, leaving everyone wondering, what song next? What memory will he gift us now? Picture it, the stage bathed in soft blue hues from the preliminary lights, casting ethereal shadows as he prowls the platform, microphone cord trailing like a comet's tail. His movements were fluid, almost meditative, arms slicing through the air with precision that spoke of countless hours in the studio, hips swaying to the beat in a rhythm that felt both intimate and explosive. Fans in the pit pressed forward, phones held high, not for capture, but for connection. Their screams a chorus of adoration that urged him on. And oh, the way he owned those high notes, climbing them effortlessly, his voice cracking just enough on the bridge to remind us he's human, vulnerable, yet soaring higher than ever. It was a moment that tugged at heartstrings, evoking memories of first listens in dimly lit bedrooms, of dreams chased across oceans. But interspersed with the performance were bursts of levity, a sudden spin on the scooter mid-chorus, wheels humming as he darted toward the edge, teasing the barrier with a wink that said, "I'm right here with you." Laughter erupted, raw and real, dissolving any distance between stage and seats. In that instant, questions swirled in the air like confetti. How has he grown even more magnetic after all these years? What fuels this endless well of charisma that makes every glance feel personal, every note a lifeline? Yet it was "I Belong to You" that truly unraveled the room, transforming the soundcheck from rehearsal to revelation, a heartfelt plea wrapped in beats that pulse like a second heartbeat. GDragon's delivery here was tender, almost confessional, his eyes scanning the crowd as if searching for each face individually, pulling them into the lyrics' embrace. The song's themes of belonging, of finding home in chaos, resonated deeply in this foreign dome, far from Seoul's familiar streets, yet brimming with a global family united by his art. He stretched the melody, improvising harmonies that layered like whispers in the wind, his falsetto soaring into the rafters where it hung, ethereal and unbroken. Tears glistened in the front rows, not from sorrow, but from overwhelming gratitude. One fan later described it as feeling seen for the first time, her voice trembling with the weight of it all. And as the final chorus swelled, GDragon dropped to his knees, not in exhaustion, but in exuberant connection, reaching out as if to bridge the gap with his very hands, singing the last lines a cappella while the fans harmonized around him. The applause that followed wasn't polite. It was a thunderclap, a collective exhale of awe and love. But why does this song, of all his hits, hit differently in moments like these? Is it the vulnerability he infuses, the way he strips away the glamour to reveal the soul beneath? As the soundcheck progressed, the dome began to fill with more layers of magic, each song a brick in the foundation of the night ahead. GDragon, sensing the crowd's insatiable hunger, delved into rarities that felt like gifts unwrapped just for them, snippets of Haru Haru, that poignant Big Bang classic, delivered with a nostalgia that wrapped around hearts like a warm blanket. His voice, rich and emotive, navigated the ballad's swells with effortless grace, the words hanging heavy with the passage of time, yet lightened by his adoring smiles to the audience. Fans swayed in place, some clutching photos from past concerts, their faces alight with the joy of rediscovery. It was a reminder of journeys shared, of how his music has soundtracked life's highs and lows, turning strangers into lifers. Then, in a twist that had everyone on their feet, he teased Bad Boy, that swaggering banger from his group's golden era, rapping the verses with a fire that belied the casual vibe. His flow was razor sharp, syllables snapping like fireworks, and when he invited the crowd to rap along, the dome erupted into a multilingual frenzy, Japanese cheers blending with English shouts and Korean chants. A beautiful babble of belonging. Laughter bubbled up as he pretended to fumble a line, only to nail the punchline with exaggerated flair. His charisma a contagious spark that lit up every corner. But let's pause here. What makes these soundcheck moments so profoundly moving? In a world starved for authenticity, GDragon offers it freely, his interactions laced with humor and humility that cut through the spectacle. During a brief break, as technicians tweaked the soundboard, he perched on the scooter seat like a king on a throne, fielding playful requests from the pit. "Bang, bang, bang," one fan shouted, waving a handmade sign adorned with daisies. GDragon's eyes twinkled with mischief. Instead of diving in, he mouthed the words silently, lip-syncing dramatically while gesturing for them to belt it out. The fans obliged with gusto, their voices a roaring tide, and he threw his head back in genuine delight, clapping along as if this were the main event. It was a masterclass in reciprocity, in giving back the energy tenfold, leaving everyone buzzing with the thrill of participation. And when he finally obliged with a full rendition of Haru Haru, his tone shifting to something achingly sincere, the air thickened with emotion, cheers giving way to a hushed reverence, broken only by sniffles and sighs. How does he balance the playful and the profound so seamlessly? It's in these contrasts that his genius shines, turning a simple rehearsal into an emotional odyssey that binds souls. Delving deeper into the soundcheck's unfolding drama, one couldn't ignore the visual poetry at play, even in its nascent form. The stage, a vast expanse of polished black platforms ringed by hydraulic lifts, was dotted with props hinting at the grandeur to come. Towering LED pillars that flickered with test patterns of swirling galaxies, and a central dais crowned by a crown-like sculpture evoking Nietzsche's Superman ideal. GDragon moved among them like a conductor, occasionally pausing to adjust a microphone stand or chat with his band, a tight-knit ensemble of musicians whose live instrumentation promised to elevate the tour beyond mere pop spectacle. As he launched into Too Bad, a fresh cut from the Übermensch album, the bass line thrummed through the subwoofers, vibrating seats and stirring dust motes in the spotlights. His dance break here was mesmerizing, a choreography of sharp angles and fluid spins that showcased his evolution as a performer, stronger, more assured after years of reflection and reinvention. Fans mirrored his moves from below, a human wave of admiration, their light sticks pulsing in sync like a field of fireflies. The song's lyrics, a defiant anthem of resilience, seemed tailor-made for this moment, urging everyone to embrace their inner strength. Yet, woven into the intensity was levity. Midway through, GDragon grabbed the scooter again, weaving it into the routine like an improv prop, nearly crashing into a prop dragon bike with theatrical flair that dissolved into shared giggles. It's these unscripted flourishes that make his shows legendary, reminders that art, at its best, is alive and unpredictable. And oh, the emotions that cascaded through the dome during Heaven, that ethereal Big Bang track repurposed as an encore tease. GDragon's rendition was stripped down, just voice and a lone guitar strummed by a bandmate, creating an intimacy that belied the venue's scale. His timbre softened, carrying the melody with a vulnerability that invited tears. The word about longing and light, piercing straight to the core. Fans, many of whom had flown halfway around the world for this, held hands across aisles, their faces illuminated by phone screens capturing not just the performance but the feeling. One young woman in the third row, her daisy crown askew from excited jumping, mouthed every lyric, eyes locked on him as if drawing sustenance from his glow. When he hit the bridge, voice climbing to a crystalline high, the collective gasp was audible, a shared intake of wonder. But GDragon, attuned to every nuance, responded by stepping closer to the edge, cupping his ear in invitation, turning solo into duet with the crowd's harmonies. The result? A moment of pure catharsis, where pain and joy intertwined, leaving hearts fuller, lighter. Why does he choose these songs, these slices of his soul, for such pivotal pre-show rituals? Perhaps because he knows music isn't just entertainment, it's medicine, a balm for weary spirits chasing dreams. As the sound check wound toward its close, the atmosphere thickened with a bittersweet electricity. Everyone acutely aware that this prelude was fleeting, a spark before the inferno. GDragon, sweat glistened and exhilarated, gathered his band for a huddle at center stage, their laughter carrying over the speakers like a private joke shared aloud. He turned back to the fans one last time, microphone raised, not for song, but for thanks, his Japanese laced with warmth, words of gratitude for their journey here, for holding the flame through hiatus and heartbreak. The response was a tidal wave of affection, chants of his name rolling like thunder, light sticks waving in a luminous sea that stretched to the upper tiers. He blew kisses, feigned bows that dissolved into chuckles, and with a final scooter lap, zipping past the pit like a victory lap, vanished into the wings, leaving echoes of magic in his wake. But as the VIPs filed out, buzzing with stories to text home, the real question lingered. How will the full show top this? What peaks of passion await when the production unleashes its full fury? Transitioning seamlessly from that intimate dawn to the full blaze of the evening concert, the Kyocera Dome transformed into a colossus of wonder. Its 55,000 capacity swollen to bursting with 40,000 souls per night across the October 20 and 21 encore dates. Doors open and the influx was a river of color. Daisy motifs on shirts and bags, custom jackets echoing Yohji Yamamoto's avant-garde designs, faces painted with subtle GD symbols that glowed under blacklight. The air crackled with multilingual chatter, Japanese fans debating setlist predictions. International devotees swapped travel tales from Seoul to Sydney. Concession stands overflowed with tour merch, limited edition hoodies emblazoned with the Ubermensch crown, daisy-embossed posters that fans clutched like talismans. Up in the nosebleeds, families waved homemade banners, while down in the pit, diehards formed human chains of excitement, their energy a palpable hum. And as the pre-show playlist, curated hits from GDragon's discography, pulsed through the speakers, the dome felt less like a venue and more like a living entity, breathing in sync with the anticipation.